Bismillah, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome back, everyone. In the last meeting, we had an engaging live online meeting, right, via Zoom. At the time, last meeting, we summarized the topics that we have covered since the beginning of the class in this semester, in this error analysis course. As you are all aware, we explored two important types of grammatical errors in English. First is tense errors, the tenses, right, regarding with tenses, and the second one is subject-verb agreement errors. Through those topics, we learned that many learner errors are not random, but actually reflect patterns in how learners understand and develop their language. In today's meeting, inshallah, we will continue our error analysis journey by focusing on another very common area of difficulty in English. We call it articles. Okay, articles. Article an, and they. Yeah, for many learners, especially those whose first language doesn't use articles, this topic can be quite challenging. Articles may seem small, but they carry important meaning. They help us understand whether we are talking about something general or something specific. So let's begin. Before we move into examples and practice, let's take a moment to understand our goals for today's session, our learning objectives. Okay. Inshallah, by the end of this meeting, all of you are expected to develop 4 important skills. First is you will learn how to identify article errors in English sentences. This means recognizing when an article is missing, an article is unnecessary, or placed or applied incorrectly. And second, you will understand how to use the 3 main articles in English: article an, and article the. Okay, so each of these article has a specific function, and choosing the correct one depends on meaning, not just grammar. And the third, you will begin to analyze why learners make article errors. This is very important in error analysis. We do not only correct errors, we try to understand the reason behind them. Okay, and finally, you will practice correcting sentences using appropriate articles so that you can apply this knowledge in your own writing and speaking. Now, let's begin with simple questions. Look at the 3 sentences on the screen. Okay. All of them are very similar, but only one is clearly correct. Only one is clearly correct in most situations. So take a moment and think carefully. Which sentence do you think is correct? Is it option A, B, or C? And more importantly, why? So this is not just about choosing the correct answer. I want you to think about the reason behind your choice. What makes one sentence more natural or more accurate than the others? Okay. So pay attention to the word movie. Ask yourself, is it something specific or something general? Is it noun or unknown? And pause the video now and choose your answer and try to explain your reasoning to yourself, even if you are not completely sure. We will discuss the explanation in the next slide, inshallah. Well, let's look at the answer together, okay? The most appropriate sentence in this case is, I saw a movie yesterday. So why do we use article a here, before movie? Because we are talking about a movie in general. the listener doesn't doesn't know which movie we are referring to, and it is not important to specify it. So we use the indefinite article Now, what about option C? I saw the movie yesterday. This sentence is also correct, but only in a different situation. We use article the when both the speaker and the listener already know which movie is being discussed. For example, maybe you talk about the movie before, with your friends that you both of you already know, already watch. And option A, I saw a movie yesterday, is incorrect because English requires an article before a singular countable noun like movie. This example shows how articles are not just small words, they carry meaning. They help us understand whether something is general or specific. Okay. Now let's define what articles are. Articles are small words in English. Article an, and the. Although they are short, they play a very important role in communication. Articles help us understand meaning more clearly. Specifically, they tell us whether we are talking about something general or something specific. For example, when you say a book, we are talking about any book, something in general. But when we say the book, we are referring to a specific book, something that is already known to the listener, to the audience, to the people that you are talking to. And also, in other words, articles help us answer questions like, is this something new or something already known? Is it general or specific? Inshallah, in the next slide, we will look more closely at the different types of articles and how they function. Now, let's look at the two main types of articles in English. First, we have indefinite articles, which are article and an. We use or an when we are talking about something in general, something that is not specific or something being mentioned for the first time. For example, when you say I saw a cat, you are not talking about a particular cat. It could be any cat, and the listener doesn't know which one, and it is perfectly fine. And second, we have definite article, which is article the. We use article the when we are referring to something specific, something that both the speaker and the listener can identify. For example, I saw the cat suggests that we are talking about a particular cat, maybe one we have already talked or mentioned before. So the key difference is this: we use a or an when the noun is general or new, and we use article the when the noun is specific or already known. All right. Now let's look at some very common article errors. Take a moment to read each sentence on the screen. You may notice that these sentences on the screen, 1, 2, 3 sentences, right? Look familiar. In fact, many learners produce sentences like this, especially in everyday speaking and writing. Let's look at them one by one. First, I bought book yesterday. The sentence is missing an article. In English, we cannot usually use a singular countable noun like book without an article. So we need to say I bought a book yesterday. And the second sentence is she is teacher. Again, we are missing an article here. The correct form is she is a teacher. She is a teacher. Okay, this is because we are describing someone's profession, and professions usually require article a or article an. In the third sentence, I went to the school yesterday. This one is slightly different. The article the is used, but it is unnecessary in this context. We are talking about school in a general sense, like attending classes. We usually say I went to school without article the. So these examples show that article errors are not only about missing articles, but also about using them incorrectly. All right. Now let's take a deeper look at an important question. Why do these errors happen? Okay. In error analysis, do not only correct errors, we try to understand their causes. One major reason is language transfer from the first language. In Indonesian or in Bahasa Indonesia, there are no articles like an, or the. Because of this, learners often feel that these words are unnecessary, and they may omit, they may miss, or they don't use them when speaking or writing in English. Another reason is direct translation. Okay, learners may translate sentences from Indonesian into English word by word without considering that English requires additional elements such as articles to express meaning clearly. And a third reason is confusion between general and specific meaning. Learners may not yet fully understand when something should be treated as general information and when it should be treated as specific or noun information. These reasons show that article errors are not random. They reflect how learners are building their understanding of English. Okay, right. So to help you apply what we have learned, let's summarize the key rules for using articles in English. First, we use article and an, when we mention something for the first time, or when we are talking about something in a general way. For example, I saw a book. I saw a book means any book, not a specific one. Okay. And second, we use article the when we are referring to something specific, something that is already known to the listener or has been mentioned before. For example, the book is on the table refers to a particular book. Okay. And third, we use no article when we are talking about things in general using plural nouns. For example, books are important means books in general, not specific ones. Okay, so these three simple rules can help you solve many article errors. Whenever you are unsure, you are not sure, and ask yourself, is this general or specific? Is this the first time I mention it? So by answering these questions, you can choose the correct article more confidently. Okay. Now it is time to practice. Okay, on this slide you will see 5 sentences. Each sentence contains an article error. Your task is to correct each sentence by choosing the appropriate article or deciding if no article is needed. Take your time and read each sentence carefully. As you work, ask yourself a few important questions. Is this something general or specific? Is this the first time the noun is mentioned? Does this sentence require an article at all? Okay. So when you are ready, when you have done all the sentences, you have tried to correct all of those sentences, continue the video and to check your responses. Let's go through the answer together and understand the reasoning behind each one. First, I saw a movie yesterday. We use article because this is the first time the movie is mentioned and it is not specific. Okay. Number 2, she is a teacher. Okay. We use article a because professions in English usually require an article. Third, he bought a book yesterday. Even though this sentence originally used the, it should be article a because the book is being mentioned for the first time. And fourth, I need a pen. Here we use a because we are talking about any pen, not a specific one. Finally, they go to school every day. The sentence is general, is already correct. In this case, we do not use this article the because school refers to general activity, not specific building. All right. Now let's take a moment to reflect on your own learning. Okay. So ask yourself, do I often forget to use articles? Do I overuse article the? Do I confuse article a and article the? So, okay, these are very common challenges, especially for learners whose first language doesn't use articles, like our first language, Bahasa Indonesia or Indonesian. Okay, the goal is not to judge your mistake, but to become more aware of your mistakes. Okay. Before we finish today's session, everyone, let's do a quick mini quiz to check your understanding. Okay, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions here on this slide. So you will see 5 questions. 1, 2, okay. So each one focuses on a different aspect of article usage. For question number 1, pay attention to the word interesting. Okay, think about whether it begins with a vowel sounds. This will help you decide between a or an, and so on and so forth. Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Okay. So when you are ready, continue the video, and please, as I mentioned in our communication platform, please submit your answers by the deadline that I mentioned. Okay. Okay, before I conclude, I close this video, this slide. Remember that the goal of error analysis is not only to correct mistakes. Okay, I always keep reminding you about this principle. Analysis is not only to correct mistakes, but also to understand the patterns behind them. Okay, thank you very much for your attention, and I look forward to continuing our learning journey in this course, error analysis course. Inshallah, I will see you again in the next session. Well, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.